The sports nerds are on the air. Yes, you're not seeing things on your computer screen. It is just Ken and myself as we start the show. Eliot is down for the count ill. Jon is out celebrating his 3-year-old's birthday. He may join the show in about a half an hour or so. So for the time being, you're gonna have to just put up with Ken and me. I'm sure you can handle that.
We're going to do our best to entertain you.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, a couple of old guys trying to get through this. First of all, Ken, you missed a great show last week. We had Derek and Ron Gallo on last week. Did you see the replay?
I did see the replay. It was good.
Yeah, I mean, Ron is always fun to have on the show. It's the first time we had him on here since before the first of the year, and it's always great to have him. And Derek was recapping the NFL draft as well. Mm-hmm. So it was a good show. We're sorry you missed it. I know, but I know you were down for the count with some issues regarding food poisoning.
Yes, unfortunately.
Yes, that food poisoning is never fun. But anyway, I'm gonna, before we get going here, let me go ahead and share the show. Share feed. Actually, want to make it public. And okay. I got 2 people already here. Good deal. Hello, for those that are here. Yes, you're not managing things. It is just Ken and I.
Hello, people. 0 of you so far.
Since we don't have Eliot or Jon at the moment, why don't we go ahead and talk about yesterday? Kentucky Derby. 80-1 shot. Hey, Jamal, good to see you. 80-1 shot wins the Kentucky Derby. The horse was entered 36 hours prior to the race.
36 hours. He replaced one that was scratched.
Yes, and if you're a betting man and you bet $100 on the 81 shot, that you're $8,000 richer today.
Mm-hmm.
Eliot was lamenting he could have bet $1,000 and he'd have all the money he needs for a while, $80,000. So, but yeah, it was pretty dramatic. I did see the replay of it. I didn't watch it live, and as they turned the last corner, this horse was way back in the back of the pack. And he just found a path and just kept going. That jockey rode him like nothing else I've ever seen in my life.
He took off like a bolt of lightning, and it definitely was a rich strike because he just meandered his way through the pack, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he shows up. And
I thought the horse turned his head a little bit to the right, and just to follow the leader that was going on, because leading at the time was the favorite,
right?
And he just followed. He turned his head. His horse turned his head to the right, and just followed that opening, and just took it and ran all the way down, sprinted to the win.
Took off, and the thing is, NBC was showing it. They had next to no information about him.
Right.
in their press releases, obviously, because he had only been there 36 hours.
Right.
Made a comment on Facebook that I had a couple of friends who went to the Derby, and they'd been in Louisville longer than right. And it was incredible. There are the people who are stewards who are in charge of the payouts at Churchill Downs are probably pulling their hair out today. So there is no telling how much they're having to pay out.
One of the most improbable wins in Derby history. Closest Derby since I think 2013, if I'm not mistaken. If that was that.
There had been one, I think, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago, that went off at like 50-1.
Really?
And came in and won. But this was 80-1. I mean, nobody knew a thing about him. He was the last horse loaded into the
he was in the far. He was in the far end. Yeah. As you're looking at the gate, he's the far. He's the far left gate. He's the last one entered.
Yeah, and it was just. I've seen quite a few upsets in the years I've been watching sports, and this was this was one for the ages, bud.
Yeah.
I cannot remember anything remotely close to it as far as betting.
Right.
It was incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well,
He was supposed to. The handlers had him all ready to go to Belmont for some penny ante race.
well, that's about to change now. He's going for the Belmont Stakes now.
You'll be going to Belmont in about 5 weeks, dude. So
Yes, to run the stakes.
for a
Yeah.
considerable more amount of money. So,
Yes. And
yeah.
it's a whirlwind for the owner of the horse, of course. Yep. He gets instant popularity and a great big paycheck to boot.
Right.
Of course, the trainer as well gets the spotlight. I've never heard of the trainer before. I don't know if he's a high,
Nobody had
of a big name or not. And of course, the jockey who had never run the Kentucky Derby before. That jockey had never been in the Kentucky Derby before.
He'd never even been to Churchill Downs before. So.
Right.
No, it is right up there with the sports stories of the year already. So
right. It's like the Jets winning the Super Bowl III back in '69, back in the day.
Yeah.
No one, it's a miracle. So I mean, of course, when you say miracle, of course, you think of the 1980 hockey team, miracles, of course. Right. So, but that was pretty exciting. Again, I didn't see the race; I just watched the highlights. I'm not a big race fan.
I saw it live, and it was pretty epic. Watching it live, and it was totally amazing. Amazing.
Again, since you're just you and me,
okay,
we can talk baseball as long as we need to.
Yep.
So what's going on with the Red Sox, Kenny?
Oh God!
Come on, Kenny. Let's give us the dirt on the Red Sox. What's going on?
The dirt on the Red Sox is it's starting to pile up. They're now down to 10-19 and dead last in the American League East, and they can't seem to get anything going offensively.
Katie posted on Twitter about something about they've lost extra inning games or last minute games.
They're now 0-6 in extra innings.
Really?
Yeah. They cannot get over the hump with this. And when I first saw this second base tiebreaker, I thought, I'll give it a try, and it seemed like a good idea at the time last year.
Right.
Not so big a fan of it anymore. So.
The ghost runner at second base during the I've never been a big fan of it myself.
Well, if you don't score 2 runs right off the bat, or at least 2 runs, you're in trouble. Because
I'm a baseball purist. I don't like the idea at all.
Yeah,
Maka has been their best starter, and he went on the DL today.
Right,
says Clarkie.
It's actually Waka, not Maka.
Oh, it's Waka. Okay,
Waka. Yeah, but he's on the DL now, and I don't know who they're going to bring up to replace him, but I don't know. I mean, I am stumped for answers. I'm sure Alex Cora's stumped for answers. I have no idea.
What do you think of Cora? You think he's a good manager?
I love Alex Cora. I mean, he's a go-getter. He was a go-getter when he was a player, and I love AC, but I feel bad for him because his hands are tied. I mean, I don't know what else he can do.
Right.
And they're just they don't seem to be able to hit with runners in scoring position. They can't drive anybody in. They had a leadoff. J.D. Martinez led off with a double in the bottom of the ninth, and they had the tying run on.
Yeah.
And 3 straight outs.
Yeah, and they lost to the White Sox again today too. By the way.
Yeah. Swept by the White Sox.
Yeah.
Sox.
On a positive note, the Guardians actually took 4 or 3 out of 3 or 4 from the Blue Jays this weekend. So I'm out of that.
Yankees are now, I think, 19-8.
Let me see what the standings look like. Major League Baseball, Yankees are 19-7 and got a 2.5 game lead on the Rays.
Yeah.
You and I both hate when the Yankees do well. I can't stand the Yankees. I know you can't stand the Yankees.
Nope. I do not like the Yankees.
Nope. And then you got Toronto 4 games back. I mean, Toronto's playing good. Okay, I just got word from Ron. He is going to be on the show tonight. I wonder why I reached out to him earlier. So Ron Gallo will be here.
Okay.
Good. Okay. Let me hang on 1 second. Let me see.
Archie says Trevor Story's getting booed out of the building. Yes, he is, and that's not.
Trevor Story is.
There's quite a few boos being rained around. Yeah. So it's not pretty right now, but I do have a ticket to see them next Friday night, and I'm hoping to see for myself in person what's going on with them, and I'll report back Sunday night.
I'm just replying to for those of you that don't know, we are on Spotify. We're on several different podcasts, and the Spotify platform now has our video as well as the audio.
Cool.
So the video is now showing on on my Spotify account. So
excellent.
Just give me a heads up on that. So we're gonna that's an extra bonus for Spotify. Getting back to baseball, Twins are playing out of their mind. I kind of thought the Twins would be the best team in that division. The Indians are maintaining a 500 record. The Guardians, excuse me, are maintaining a 500 record. They're still 3.5 games out. But again, their pitching is keeping them in games. And I'll tell you what, Jose Ramirez is the man. He is the man. Katie made it a point of tweeting at me this week.
Oh, wow.
Not the fact of Jose's contract, that he took less than what he could have gotten elsewhere to stay in Cleveland.
Right.
Okay. And
why? Because Cleveland rocks.
Well, okay. Thank you, Drew Carey. Anyway, no, because he likes playing in Cleveland. He is loyal to the franchise. He loves the fans, and he wants to end his career in Cleveland. You got to give the man respect when he doesn't go after the money and does what he feels is right for him, his family, and sticking with the franchise. Mm-hmm. Now, if just the Guardians would go out and spend more money on better talent, they may have a chance to compete for a World Series like they did in 2016.
Right.
Don't get me started on that 3-1 blow. Don't get me started. To the Cubs. I'm glad for the Cubbies, but not so much for the
right.
Indians at the time. Anyway, to
be honest with you, I have never seen or heard of any player that's ever played for Cleveland that did not enjoy the experience. The town loves the players. And,
the town loves the Guardians as much as they love the Browns. I mean, the Browns probably are higher on the food chain.
Yeah.
Okay, but I mean, the franchise has been in Cleveland since baseball began.
Yeah,
for goodness sake. They last won the World Series in 1948.
Right. They've been in 1, 2, 3 since then.
I think they were in the World Series a few years after the 48 series, but the most recent ones was 95, 97, and 2016, where the modern era where they lost all three: Yankees, Marlins, and then now the Cubs.
Right.
So, it is what it is. But they got a great fan base. They love their. They don't love the Dolans because the Dolans own the Indians or Guardians. I keep saying that, and I'm going to say that until it gets out of my head. But still, the Dolans own the franchise, and they don't like spending money, just like John's guys in Toronto don't like spending money on the Blue Jays, despite the fact they're successful. But it's going to take me a while to get used to them being a different name.
Right.
I'm still going to root for them. I'm still going to cheer for them. Despite my post a few weeks ago saying that I've given up on them, I'm never going to give up on them. I'm really not. I was just blowing off steam. It's not going to happen. I'll die with them like I'll die with the Browns and I'll die with the Lightning. So it's just the way it is.
You got the best manager in baseball, so it's without a doubt.
I love Katie's. She says The Fighting Franconas.
Fighting Francona.
Yes.
Yes.
The Fighting
I
Franconas.
love Tito Francona. I mean,
He's had some health issues the last couple of years, but
I've noticed that. I've heard that. And
he seems to have come back strong, and he's back on the bench again. So that's a good sign.
See, Terry Francona is only about 6 or 7 months older than I am.
So he's in his early 60s. So that's really not that old. It really is.
He'll be 60 if he hadn't already turned 63. He will pretty soon. So
yeah, I mean, so he's not actually old. I mean, he's old, but he's not old. You know what I'm saying?
I like to think I'm not either, but I feel
like. So how was your experience at the game? Rangers and the Braves. Was it Rangers and the Red Sox?
No, it was Rangers and the Braves. Red Sox next weekend.
Okay.
Rangers and the Braves won 6-3. Braves looked great that night, Friday night, and then came a cropper after that. The Rangers took the last 2 games of the series and ended up 2-1.
Yeah.
And the Braves are now like 13-16 or 17.
Yeah. A friend of ours
playing like the defending world champions. But
yeah, a friend of ours from back in the day, Wolverine for Life, was talking about going to that game. Is going to one of that series as well.
He apparently went to all 3 of them. I didn't even realize he was here in town. So
right.
He didn't call me. That's
going to have to give Wolvie shit for that one, Ken.
Well, that's par for the course, I'm afraid.
Okay.
People that live here, so
yeah.
But yeah, I don't think he enjoyed the last 2 games, but very, very nice.
Back in our MSN days, Wolverine for Life. I'll never forget
that's
him.
Right, Wolvie.
So if we move into the Angels, they got a lead of a half game on Houston in the West. Shohei Ohtani continues to be an enigma. My God.
Yeah.
Fighting it up both on the mound and at the plate.
Mm-hmm. We played against him last week. He played the first 2 games at DH and then pitched the 3rd game and hit for himself. They DH'd for someone else, and what can I say?
I know, right?
There no more words have all been used to describe him. So it's I don't know what else to say about him. It's amazing. We had one of our closers was Hayakawa, I think his name, and he faced him toward the end of the game. And I was wondering if they'd faced each other in Japan before. I'm certainly haven't. But yeah, he is amazing. He's got several commercial deals. I see him on TV running commercials all the time. So yeah, he's already a media superstar, and he's a little more. I think he's a little more outgoing than Ichiro was. Ichiro was all business all the time, I think, and but yeah, this guy is fun-loving. The Angel players love him. The fans love him, and I mean, what's not to like about him? And Mike Trout is Mike Trout. What can I say?
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
no doubt. So my question to you is, I mean, are the Angels, do they have enough to keep it up throughout the entire season?
Who knows? We've got a long way to go, so we shall see. But Joe Madden seems to be having fun with them, and when he's having fun, then usually the team does too.
Yep.
As you well know in Tampa. So,
all right. Now, are you surprised about the Mets being as good as they are? The Mets have just been
no. I mean, as much as they added on in the off season, I mean, that was foregone conclusion.
I mean, they're 6 games up already in that division.
Yeah, and we're only in May, so yeah, we could see that coming from a long way away. So,
I mean, Atlanta's under 500, which is surprising for the defending champions.
Yeah.
And then
Phillies are in 2nd.
Phillies are in 4th.
4th.
There's 7 games. Yeah, Atlanta and Miami are tied for 2nd.
Oh, okay.
But in Philly's down 7 games back, they're 12-16. In the Central, you got Milwaukee, which is no surprise. St. Louis is playing pretty well this year as well. And then the West, of course, you got the Dodgers and then the Padres.
Go back to the Central right quick.
Yeah.
What is the Cincinnati Reds record now?
They are 5-23.
5-23. They've actually won 2 of the last 3 games.
Yes, they are 5-23. One of the worst starts in Major League history. I mean, good God.
11 teams in baseball history, and they are 5-23.
Yep. Yep.
You have to feel sorry for someone like Joey Votto.
I mean, Joey Votto is one of the best players in baseball, and he's languishing in mediocrity in Cincinnati, for goodness sake.
And he's been loyal to that team for forever.
Yep.
And this is how he's getting paid back. But you gotta feel sorry for him, because I mean, I'm sure he has to be thinking, well, I could have gone somewhere else.
And again, Cincinnati's another one of those teams that don't spend a lot of money. They really don't.
And so it's becoming very clear
exactly
what the result is.
Dodgers are only a game up on the Padres. I mean, Dodgers were picked to run away with that division. I mean, I know it's only May, but still,
that's a 4-team race already, because that's pretty tight between 1 and 4.
3.5 games separate fourth place from first place. Yeah,
right.
The Dodgers, the Padres, the Rockies, and then San Francisco.
Right.
Normally, that division comes down to the Giants and the Dodgers, historically. So,
still May, but
it's still May. You're right.
Yeah. Padres. It's good to see the Padres always up there in Colorado for that.
Well, the Padres are a fun team to watch. They got a lot of great players on that team. Yes.
Yep.
So it's a fun team to watch. It gives a lot of excitement, and the San Diego fans only have that team now. They don't have the Chargers anymore.
That's it.
So that's the only pro sports team they got, which is a shame because San Diego's a really good sports team, and they deserve more than just baseball.
An awesome sports town, and it's a shame to what's happened to them. But while we're on the National League West, I have. How do I want to describe this? This is one of the more bizarre videos that I've seen all season long this week, and it concerns one Madison Bumgarner. And
I saw this.
And an umpire that I have no idea who he is and really don't care anymore. That was an absolute bait job.
I mean, the guy's sitting there, feeling his hands and staring him right in the eyes as doing it. It was so weird.
That was an absolute bait job. He was looking for any excuse to run him. And first off, they said, well, he said the magic word, which is probably "fuck you," and that got him caught. The thing is, he got in the umpire's face, and when you get bill to bill and the two bills touch, that's an automatic ejection right there. They don't even mess with that.
Yep.
But the thing is, the umpire has now come back and apologized to Madison Bumgarner and said he was wrong to throw him out, and that's going to be overturned. In fact, I'm just waiting for the official word from the front office that will be overturned, because that was absolute. And the umpire has been suspended. He will be back, I think, next week. But
that was creepy. That was just creepy.
That was totally creepy. That was.
Yeah. All right. Well, Ron's in the green room, so we're going to bring Ron up. And we're going to switch our gears here.
Okay.
Mr. Ron Gallo. He's got a low. His connection is not so good, but we'll see what happens. Ron, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I cannot see you yet. So we'll see how it goes. Okay.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I'm on my phone because it is Mother's Day, and we got to take care of some stuff there.
Yes, I called my mother today as a good son should. So yes, I'm with you there.
So I was thinking what I could do is maybe just make this one quick, and we can go from there.
Absolutely, Ron. It's good to have you as always.
Absolutely.
I'm sitting here watching the Lightning lead 3-0 in Game 4 as we speak.
Yeah, that series has been kind of going back and forth for sure.
Yeah. I was kind of shocked that Lightning lost the opening in their home ice. I was kind of shocked that the Leafs came out and played so well. But the one thing I told Ken at the start of the show was after a loss like that, you don't want to piss the Lightning off because now they're mad, and then when they're mad, they play so much better. Oh, there's the video.
There he is.
There's the video.
Okay.
They get mad when they play bad. So tonight must be a reflection of how they felt after Game 3. So we just lost him. He just popped out. Oh
no.
Oh, that's too bad. But yeah, I mean, you know, I'm gonna live and die with the Lightning. I love the Lightning, and you know, even if they lose in the first round, I'm still gonna stick with them, and I love them so much.
What's as much surprising to me is the fact that Washington now is up 2-1 on Florida.
Yes, let's bring him back. He's back. All right, stay with us, Ron. Oh, now I can't hear you. I can see you, but I can't hear you. Nope. We got your video. We don't have your audio. Come on, we can do this. Check your settings. Make sure everything's good to go. Okay. No worries. Oh, he's going to drop off. Back. Okay.
We got plenty of time to kill, so take your time.
Yeah, I mean, we've only got one viewer, but that's okay. Which is par for the course for this show.
Did we lose Jamal?
I don't know. We may have lost Jamal. I think Clarkie's still hanging out. I'm pretty sure.
Still here, Clarkie?
But yeah. No, the Florida series is surprising me. The Capitals are up on the Panthers, and that's surprising to me because the Panthers have been so good throughout the entire season.
Right. And it's that President's Trophy curse again.
The President's Trophy curse. Happened to the Lightning 3 years ago.
Team that wins that.
And now I'm losing Ken. Oh, no. You there, Ken?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm here.
Lost you for a second.
Lost you for a second.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, good. Make sure my internet is fine. Yeah, my internet's good.
Yeah.
Because I'm the one driving this bus with my internet. So, let's see. Oh, he's back not on his phone, but on his computer. Now he's on his computer. Hi, Ken, Ron. Welcome back.
Oh my goodness! I'm telling you, this is killing me.
Trump says we lost the connection, and
yep.
And
anyway,
is the microphone and the audio okay?
Yeah, you're good. You're good to go, Ron. You're good.
Okay, I'm not going to mess with anything right now. I'm not on these headsets. That's what's maybe the problem. Anyways, because you want to start with Toronto and Tampa Bay, let's go ahead and start with Toronto and Tampa Bay. Yeah, okay. It's this is going to be one of those ones that goes back and forth. Both
is he back? Because I'm not seeing or hearing him now.
Yeah, he's back. I don't know if you can see him, Ken, but he's back. Yeah. Go ahead, Ron.
Okay.
Can you hear me, Ken?
He can't hear you, Ron. I don't know what's on his end. We might be losing him too. His connection might be a little sketchy. I can hear you fine. You're good to go with me. So go ahead and keep going.
Now, what's going on here?
Okay.
All of a sudden, I have a blue screen.
I can hear Scott and I can hear Ken. So I apologize for anybody that's watching, and we're trying to go through all of this. All right. So Toronto and Tampa Bay. All I want to really say is that this is probably one of the best series out there right now. Back and forth, back and forth. The problem is that it's too big of a pendulum swing. So you mentioned that before we had the first technical issue there, Scott. And
let me reboot.
That is that.
All right, go ahead, Ken.
That is that. Tampa Bay does not like to lose, and they come back with a vengeance the game after. That's been the case for a long, long time. They don't have back-to-back losses.
Right.
And that's very telling of the Tampa Bay Lightning and the fact that they're two-time Stanley Cup defending champions. The Toronto Maple Leafs are starting to show that they've got a little bit of strength as well. And one of the things that's going to maybe happen for them is that they can keep winning the first game, then they'll be the first ones to win 4. So it's just odd the way it's working out, Scott.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying the Bolts because tonight they could win tonight and then come back in 2 days and lose again in 2 nights. That's probably that can happen as well. So I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch. I've seen them after they win the President's Trophy. They got swept in the first round, so I'm not counting anything at this point. But I said it last week to you. The Lightning this year are not as good as the previous two seasons. They're not as strong, in my opinion.
But there's a few things that I want to touch on. Maybe just a couple. That is that one of the things is that you look at a team and you want to know, okay, the first game, they always go with the players, the roster, the mentality that got them to the postseason. Right. And then if they trip and they stumble out of the gates in the first game, sometimes there's a panic situation, and that panic situation can backfire, or it can be like Jon Cooper. Okay, let's just stay the course, settle things down. They got back to Tampa Bay, tied 1-1, and yes, they stumbled out of the gate again. The Toronto Maple Leafs were on fire in that game, and they came out strong, and they won Game 3. But Jon Cooper, again, stay the course. We'll get this thing righted. We'll figure this out. We're not the team we were 2 years ago. We're not the team we were last year, but we're still a Stanley Cup potential winning playoff team. And he's got to make sure he keeps that mentality.
He's one of the best coaches in the NHL. Hands down. Best. Yeah.
And you know where he's from, right?
He's probably from Montreal, knowing you.
No, he's from my hometown.
Which is?
Prince George, British Columbia.
Prince George, British Columbia. Okay.
Prince George. Okay.
Yep.
I was going to say he's probably key to the entire run, because but obviously they know what it takes to get to the Stanley Cup Finals and win. They're the two-time champions. So that
he knows, even though there's been a few players that have been changed.
Yeah.
That kind of muscle memory kicks in sometimes, and they once they remember, okay, now we know what we need to do. That plays into their hands, and
so I want to go to the flip side of things, though. When I said that, staying the course and making sure you weather the storm, and that's how you get there. Another good example, well, maybe not after Game 4, is the Minnesota Wild. Right. They got on Marc-Andre Fleury. They stayed the course with him for Games 2 and Games 3. They won both of those. St. Louis has come back and tied the series now. The Boston Bruins, different story. They go with a different goaltender, and all of a sudden they start winning. Brad Marchand, 5 points tonight.
Yeah.
Today. The other one is the New York Rangers goaltender. I'm high on Saturskin, and I'm not getting his name straight today. I can't. Mumble lips. But they had to pull him when it was 4-0. Be damned if the New York Rangers didn't tie that up 4-4.
Right. Now, what do you think about the Capitals and the Panthers series, Ron?
Well, you know what? I was going to touch on that too if we had a couple of minutes, and just kind of go back to our picks. And I mean, I had the Capitals in 6, and I'm still on track for that. The Florida Panthers are the President Cup Trophy winning team, and now they're questioning everything that got them to the postseason. That's the flip side, where you're not staying the course. You're not being confident in yourself, and now you're trying to tweak too many things, and that sends the ripple through the entire dressing room and the entire team, whether they say it in public or not. They're not confident group right now.
And Ken and I called it the President's Trophy curse, like the Lightning had 3 years ago. So
100%. Yeah. And with Ken in the room, let's talk about the elephant, the Dallas Stars.
Dallas Stars.
I did.
There's something about a young goaltender. A young goaltender can come in and change the complexion of an entire team. Sometimes you'll see that in a game where a strong goaltender, the number one goaltender, gets pulled for some reason, and the backup goes in, and the team plays differently in front of that goaltender. I'm not saying the Dallas Stars are playing differently, but for sure Ottinger has stepped up the notch for the Dallas Stars, and he's got the Calgary Flames on the ropes.
Yes, they have. He's been with them since like the last two or three regular season games. He's looked fantastic against Calgary so far in all 3 games. In fact, I made him mention the other day that it's quite possible the Stars could be up 3-0 in this series.
Yeah.
Because they dominated after Calgary got off to the good start in game 1 in the first period. Dallas dominated the rest of that game, which couldn't get anything going.
No, it's true. And I mean, when it's a 1-goal game, especially when it's a 1-0 game, truly, I mean,
right?
It's the hockey gods that determine who wins that game. It's not even the players. You can do anything and everything, and if you can't score, you can't score.
The one concern I have with the Stars right now is their penalty and their power play is still missing in action, because they are.
Sorry, what's your one concern?
That's the biggest concern.
Power play.
Oh, for a power play, yeah, because they're like 0 for 9, like that, and they don't. There's lots of them that they don't even have a shot on goal. And
that's true, but the Dallas Stars are notorious for playing low-scoring games.
Oh, I know. You're telling me.
So if you're a low-scoring team, you're going to be a low-scoring power play team as well.
Right.
Where the strength comes in is the penalty kill and the defensive mindedness of the players as a whole. And I think the Dallas Stars are getting it done.
We just lost Ken again.
The Calgary Flames, on the flip side of things, are not used to playing low-scoring games.
Right.
One other goaltender I wanted to touch on is Louis Domingue for the Pittsburgh Penguins. This is a goaltender that came in the second overtime period of game 1.
Yeah, go ahead.
And he's helped to change the tide for the Pittsburgh Penguins after they had a rough start in game 2, and the New York Rangers tied up the series. But Louis Domingue, they didn't pull Louis Domingue after he allowed 4 goals. Instead, they kept him in, and it turned out to be one of Louis Domingue's saves that was the game changer in that contest, and the Pittsburgh Penguins go the other direction and end up winning that one. So anyways, couple of things that have stood out to me. Number one, we always talk about the 60-goal scorers, whether it's Austin Matthews or Connor McDavid or Alexander Ovechkin or Sidney Crosby. Did you know that Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosby, Alexander Ovechkin, they each only have a single goal? Austin Matthews has 2 goals. Like, what's surprising, I've already said Brad Marchand's name, leads the scoring race right now in the postseason. He's got, he's picked up 5 points tonight and jumped over everybody in the top spot. Evander Kane plays on a team with Leon Draisaitl, with Connor McDavid, with some big guns with the Edmonton Oilers, and Evander Kane picked up a hat trick the other night.
Yep.
He's got 5 goals and 1 helper to help Edmonton lead that series 2-1 over the Los Angeles Kings. The interesting thing about that series, game 1 was a little bit tight. Game 2 and game 3, 6-goal margins for the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah.
Like,
they're starting to heat up.
It's huge, right? So, I mean, what we got to do is we got to look at some of the series right now. The only series that I picked to be a sweep, and I hate picking sweeps. I really do, because every team deserves to be in the NHL. Every player deserves to be on an NHL team. And every team that makes it to the postseason has an equal opportunity to make it to the finals. We've seen 16th place seed teams do that. With the a couple of years ago, it was the Los Angeles Kings. Last year, it was the Montreal Canadiens. You just never know what team is just going to find the right mix of goals and defense to end up getting through 4 rounds of hockey and hoist the Stanley Cup. But I did pick the Colorado Avalanche to sweep the Nashville Predators. Right now, they're 1 game away from doing exactly that.
Right.
I don't think that's a surprise to anybody, Ron. No. The Avalanche have been probably the class of the NHL the entire season, despite not winning the President's Trophy. But they've been one of the best teams in the NHL.
Right.
Yeah. Carolina has put a huge scare into the Boston Bruins without question, but the Boston Bruins are back on track now to win this series in 6. I had picked them in 5. So, I mean, I'm not going to be right on that one, but that's irregardless. I still think, even though there's a couple of teams in the East that are not my favorites, but Boston being one of them, the New York Rangers being the other, I still think the Boston Bruins are going to get past the Carolina Hurricanes. my heart is still pulling for the Pittsburgh Penguins over
Of
the New
course,
York
because I know
Rangers.
how much you hate the Rangers, Ron. I
Well,
know.
yeah, but I mean, I did pick the Rangers in 5, so it'll be interesting to see what happens because now Pittsburgh has a chance to go up 3-1 in this series.
Yeah.
That's tomorrow night, mind you. You know, and the other one in the East is being played right now. Honestly, we saw it with the New York Rangers coming back. We hinted at it with the Los Angeles Kings when they were down 5-0, and they started to chip away and they got it to 5-2, but that was it. You do see teams come back from big goal deficits. I don't think the Toronto Maple Leafs can come back on a Tampa Bay Lightning team that's firing on all cylinders.
3-0,
being down 3-0 heading into the second period.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but it's only game 4, Ron. I'm not excited yet.
Yeah, I did say that one's going to go 6, right? And right now, it could go 6 either way. It could go 6 for Toronto, or it could go 6 for Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay could win tonight. Toronto could win 2 nights from now, and then when the first game back in Toronto, the next game back in Toronto, it's over. So I mean, that's exactly what can happen.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised what happened earlier today with the Minnesota Wild losing to the St. Louis Blues.
And they lost 5-2, no less.
Yeah, and it seems to me like Minnesota is either winning big or losing big, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Right.
But again, we've touched on Calgary and Dallas. I think that the Dallas Stars are now going to become the Cinderella team on this. You know, they said at the very beginning, they don't want to be called the underdog team because they deserve to be here just as much as any other team.
Yeah.
And the thing is that, yes, they're a lower seed than the Calgary Flames, but at the end of the day, if you knock off the Calgary Flames, guess what? Now you're moving up the ladder instead of down the ladder.
And John can't be more happy. John can't be any more happier than to see Calgary go down in flames like he always does. He does not like the Calgary Flames.
He does not like Calgary.
Yeah. I mean, out in the West, sometimes I flip-flop a little bit with the West-based teams out of Canada. I mean, obviously, I have a preference for the Montreal Canadiens, and we know where they finished. They're the first team to ever finish 32nd in the league.
Jesus.
Well, there's never been 32 teams until this year.
Correct. With Seattle in the mix now, yes.
So for the first time in NHL history, the Montreal Canadiens finished 32nd.
My condolences to you and your family on that, Ron.
Yeah, I know exactly, right? So, you know, I certainly hope that things go better for, I mean, this is not playoff hockey that we're talking about right now, but Carey Price, apparently that knee surgery has never been 100%, and he is now seriously thinking and considering retirement.
How long has he been in the league, Ron?
Want to say 15. 13 years.
13. Okay. I was going to say 15, but
yeah, I'd have to double check that number, but that's my guess right now. And you know, last year was the closest he came, and it's unfortunate. And I mean, no disrespect to Corey Perry, but here's a player that's been chasing the Stanley Cup, and so we'll find out if it's the Corey Perry curse for the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Right.
I'm not in mentioning Montreal Canadiens. I think it would be remiss to not mention the Guy Lafleur funeral, which
yeah, we talked about that a little bit last week, but you weren't here, Ken. So go ahead.
Very moving ceremony, and just a part of my growing up was gone by the wayside. That candle's been blown out, and Guy Lafleur was, Wayne Gretzky notwithstanding, Guy Lafleur may have been the greatest hockey player I've ever seen.
Yeah,
and I've never seen faster down the ice, and
there's potentially only one more state or nation type funeral. Wayne Gretzky,
right.
Possibly Mario Lemieux,
right.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been said that you know, this is probably the last big funeral when it comes to the game of hockey, because Guy Lafleur did definitely have that kind of an impact.
Right.
obviously his number is going to sit in the rafters for forever now. But it's interesting to hear them talk about the flow of leadership of who had to carry the big flame for the Montreal Canadiens. And there's some huge hockey names from the history of the game, from the Montreal Canadiens: Rocket Richard, Jean Beliveau, and then Guy Lafleur. And it was interesting because Guy Lafleur, growing up, had been playing with a different number, and he wanted it. And somebody took him aside and said, "You've got to pick a number that's not being used and make it so that every boy wants to play with your jersey number on their back." And that's huge. That's true in any sport, really.
10's always been a favorite one of mine, and he was one of the main reasons.
Okay. Again, gentlemen, I'm really, really sorry that this has to be such a short.
It's fine, Ron. We understand. We appreciate you being on here, even if it's only for like a half an hour or so. We do appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I just want to say this: if you haven't been watching any of the playoffs, you should watch the playoffs. This is the first time in a long time where 7 out of the 8 series have gone to a 2-1.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times the closest would have been Carolina when they had that 2-0 lead, and then Boston came back to make it 2-1, and then ultimately 2-2. But to not see more than one potential sweep in the first round is unheard of. Usually there's 3 in the first round.
Well, yeah, and it just goes to show you that the competition in the NHL is pretty tight, and parity is something that we always talk about in the NFL. Mm-hmm. There truly is parity in the NHL when you've got 16 teams in the tournament, and you don't have a sweep going on except for one series, and that's great.
Maybe this is a discussion question for later on down the road, but is this a result of having a salary cap?
4-0 now. Thank you very much, Lightning.
Could be.
All right, you guys, I do have to run. I've got people texting me, and I've got to get going.
Okay, Ron, take care of yourself. We'll see you next Sunday.
Ron.
No worries. And to all the moms out there, happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, absolutely. Ron Gallo, thank you very much. All right, Kenny, just you and me. Let me switch back here. It's always good having Ron on the show.
Absolutely.
It really is. And his hockey knowledge is second to none, man.
I love his.
It really is. And yes, it went right through the glove of the goalie into the net. The Lightning are up. Oh, look, it's Colton with the goal. 4-0 Lightning in the second period. I'm loving every minute of it.
4-0 or 5-0?
4-0.
4.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Or Toronto.
I don't know where John is. Maybe he's not coming. I don't know. All right. Let's talk about something you and I don't discuss a whole lot.
Okay.
NBA playoffs.
NBA playoffs.
How about them Dallas Mavericks?
How about them Dallas Mavericks? The CP3 show was pretty brief today.
He got kicked out. He got kicked out with about 6 minutes left to go in the game, I think is what it was. Where am I going here?
They've now won back-to-back games and now 2-2.
Best
of 3 series.
Yep. Let me take a look and see here. Where we going? Where is it? Come on. Here it is. They went 111-101 today. Series is tied 2-2. Miami, Philly playing right now. Embiid came alive in Game 3 against the Heat. It was good to have him back.
Yes,
despite having the mask on and the thumb issue.
Who was that mask man?
I know, right? Do you think Embiid is enough for Philly to get back into this series? I mean, they're tied right now, but it's only the first period. So
I wouldn't put any money on it.
No,
Miami seems to be pretty tough out.
Well, they're the number 1 seed in the East. So I mean, they're pretty talented.
I think they've got enough. I don't know what's going on with Harden. No one ever seems to know what's going on with Harden.
Yeah, nobody knows what goes on with Harden. Even Harden doesn't know sometimes.
Exactly. But yeah, without both of them on a consistent basis, I'm not sure Philadelphia has any chance against Miami.
Yeah.
They may get one more game, but I'm not sure about anything else. The one I'm anxious to see the end of is Boston and Milwaukee, because that's a war right now.
Yeah, those two teams don't like each other at all, and it's I mean, there was an. I want to go back. Let me go back to the NBA here. Hang on a second. Oh, and the big news though is John Morant is likely out for Game 4 against the Warriors. He had a knee injury. That was a controversial call on that, or happening on that, where supposedly, what was it? It was what was his name? Jordan Poole grabbed his knee.
Right.
Whether it was intentional or not, I mean, they caused a big.
Yeah, he's up and down. It was not. So
yeah.
That was a major league butt kicking last night, 142 to 112.
Yeah, they lost bad. Well, no, losing John Morant was probably the key to that win.
Yep.
But the Grizzlies. It's still fun to watch the Grizzlies play. They really are fun to watch.
But I like seeing Klay Thompson back in scoring. He's only going to help the Golden State's cause even more while he's in there. So
right.
Golden State, I think, still may be the team to beat in the West, but we shall see what happens in the end of the Dallas.
Are the Warriors back to where the Warriors were a few years ago, and they're in their prime?
I wouldn't tap the brakes on that. I don't think they're quite there, but they're still
5-0.
5-0.
Oh, and the route is on. I love it.
That's there's some.
What the heck is that? Oh, that's my phone.
Oh, was that your phone?
Amber Alert.
Amber Alert. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought I recognized that signal.
Yeah. Who was it? Andre Palat. Nope. I'm sorry, Perry. It was Chris Perry. I'm sorry, Perry.
Perry?
Yep, Perry got the goal. Oh, nice. Don't piss off the Lightning. I'm telling you. So the Bucks are up 2-1. That is a brutal series.
Yeah.
So I mean, oh come on. Even it came up on Spectrum. God, go back to the game.
Oh.
Even came up my cable.
Oh.
The Amber Alert.
Yeah. I think Boston, Milwaukee picks up again tomorrow night.
Yes.
That one is going to be no holds barred. I don't.
Yep. Something I want to bring up: the 20th anniversary of Practice. Allen Iverson's unforgettable press conference.
Practice.
Not a game. Practice. We talking about practice.
Talking about practice. I can't believe it. It's 20 years.
Yes.
Jesus.
Who's up here? That's Army. Army's back. Army's in.
Army.
Good to see you, brother. I'm going to have to send you the link so you can reconnect to Restream. So if you would, I'm posting the link. Reconnect you so we can see you in the chat feed that you're here. And it's good to see you, brother. I'm glad you're here.
It's good to see you.
I still believe he's in St. Petersburg. As a matter of fact, he's down here with next.
No, I think he's back. Is
he back in Montreal?
Yeah, he had to go undergo surgery the other day. So yeah, he's back.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about
Montreal.
that.
Yeah, back in Quebec.
Yeah. But practice.
Practice.
Do you remember when that happened, Ken?
Yes, I remember. It was all over Sports Center, and
Sports Center just blared that friggin' press conference all over the place.
Bled that dry for 20 years.
Still probably the greatest, after Dr. J, the greatest Philadelphia player of all time.
Quite possibly. Although Mr. Chamberlain might have something to say about that too.
Well, yeah, but Wilt was more with the Lakers, more famous for the Lakers. The hell was that?
That was what?
Oh, it was just knocking a Lightning player on their ass.
No. We can't have that. That's a
Nope.
game misconduct, isn't it?
No, it's not. Yes, it is. As far as I'm concerned, it is. Absolutely. I got nothing else except, NBA is not my forte. So I don't follow the NBA. I'm not big on the NBA. There wasn't a whole lot going on in the NFL. There's still rumors about Baker, where he's going. There's another NFC South team, I guess, in the mix for Baker. The Browns burnt their bridges. They're not going to get a player or a partner in a Baker Mayfield trade. It's not going to happen. They're going to end up having to cut him. The rumor is that
they're going to owe him a shitload of money too, aren't they?
Yeah, he's supposed to be guaranteed over $18 million this season, guaranteed. So it is what it is. I mean, the Browns have the cap room, so I'm not really concerned about it. But Watson is expected to get about 9 games. Whether it's going to be this season or next, I don't know. But that's the estimate. He's supposed to get 9 games. So. Which would not surprise me.
No.
Coming back in June. Okay, it's good, Army.
June, okay.
Army, we have got to meet up. I know I'm procrastinating and putting aside and not communicating, but you and I have got to meet up when you come back to St. Pete. Please reach out to me on Facebook or somewhere. So please, we need to meet up when you come back in June. If I have to drive to St. Pete, so be it. But I really want to meet up. It's been forever. Yes, I want to meet up in June. So when you get here, reach out to me on Facebook so that we can go ahead and make plans to meet up, because I would love to see you face to face again. I think we met once. I don't know. I remember. Maybe not. Anyway, regardless, I want to meet up with you in June when you come back, because I would love to see you.
And I want to see you too in Texas. You owe me a trip to Texas, because we have not seen each other in 18 years, bud. That's too long.
It's Vegas, right?
Las Vegas. We don't necessarily have to go to Vegas, but I want you to see this stadium.
We'll get you out here to Lakeland. I'll meet you somewhere in Lakeland, and once Channel Side. Yes, you're correct. Yes. But yeah, I want you to come out here to Lakeland, and we'll meet up and have lunch or whatever, and just get together. More than happy to do that. I don't know that John's going to come on. It's been an hour. I got nothing else, Ken. I don't know if you got something you want to bring up.
I don't have anything else. Shout out to Max Verstappen for winning the Formula One Miami Grand Prix today. And
yeah, that was a circus, man. That was
that was bizarre.
Well, it's Miami, so what are you?
Yeah, that's true.
It's Miami, so what are you going to do, man? So
I guess they set that course up in and around Hard Rock.
It was built around Hard Rock Stadium, which actually is not Miami. It's north. Yeah,
it's Miami Gardens.
Miami Gardens.
Yeah.
I've been to that stadium. I went there in '89 to watch a Browns-Dolphins game, actually, when it was still Joe Robbie.
Right.
And it's right off of the turnpike there. As you're heading south into
Miami and Fort Lauderdale?
Yes. Yeah. So it's not actually Miami, but it's, Miami Gardens, which is actually north and west of my actual downtown Miami.
Right.
So, but yeah, I got nothing else. Enjoy the hockey playoffs, everybody. Enjoy the NBA playoffs, everybody. Baseball's getting wound up. It's going to be, middle of the season is always fun to watch. It's going to be quiet regarding NFL between now and August or July when training camps open. We got mini camps and off-season workouts going on, but still. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and sign off. Army, I look forward to hearing from you in June when you come back down here. I do not want to miss that opportunity because I want to see you. Anyway, on behalf of my co-host tonight, Mr. Ken Koslow, I am the Sports Nerds. We're going to sign off. Enjoy your week. We'll be here next Sunday at 7:30. Thanks for watching, whoever was here, and we are out.